Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him. I love the way that this episode wasn't really fully about Gemba. He was a big part of it, but it was way more of the consequences of his action kind of made the episode go the way that it did. And the show didn't just become Gemba featuring the Boonboomgers. But I did really love seeing how everybody is kind of handling Gemba's big decision of leaving the team. Taya pretty much trying to get distracted by getting a new job by Naito, and after that pretty much getting distracted by the return of Mad Rex, while like Sakito does actually tries to reach out and help Gemba, but like the show does, Gemba tells him to pretty much piss off, which I'm kind of like slightly more upset about how like this show is handling Sakito. It's not on like the same level as, let's say, Jiro from Dawn Brothers, because Jiro from Dawn Brothers feels like, you know, I didn't really want him, so he would kind of write him as a joke, but when he needs to be serious, he would be serious. Like Sakito kind of feels like you're just there, while Mira took like Gemba leaving like the worst. She literally, the first time we see her in this episode is her begging him to just come back. She would be the one that would always kind of like, oh, Gemba would know. Like she's the one that kind of takes it the hardest and kind of doesn't really recover from it. Which, if you think about it, yeah, like Mira as a character feels like this is her new leash on life. She's enjoying what she's doing, and this part of that new life that she's been enjoying for so long now is now gone, and she doesn't know really what to do. And like it's kind of almost the same with Joe, but like you can clearly see Joe is kind of like the one that semi gets it. He gets why Gemba is leaving. He doesn't really want him to leave, and he's kind of like almost like the main focus of the episode. How much the entire episode was kind of sporadic among the team. He was the one that kind of like got a decision. He didn't get distracted. He didn't try to interject in Gemba's business. He didn't try to bring him back. He's the one that like pretty much understand that, hey, like Gemba isn't here, so I would take his share of the fight and I would fight, which is like a really cool moment. And I kind of wish we got like a less VFX shot of Joe without the helmet. It would have looked really cool, and at least there is some sort of a picture of it that I'm using in the thumbnail, so that's great. But it is interesting the way that Shashiro is handling it. He feels like the guy that just like doesn't really care about it. He doesn't seem like as concerned about it last week. He doesn't seem as concerned about it as this week. And it is really interesting the way he kind of like just nonchalantly kind of like, yeah, it happened, and he leaves. And it's just like, okay, is there a really cool continuity of him not really wanting more members of the team? Specifically, because if you really think about it, the first member of the Boonboomgers is Shashiro, and this is what I thought at first, like, oh, that's a nice little moment, that's a nice little kind of continuity, like, oh, maybe he just kind of plays along with what Tyre wants, but like in his heart, Shashiro doesn't really want more members in the team. But then the end of the episode happened, and that is he's working with Ichiro this entire time, which brings the entire him not wanting any new members in the Boonboomgers for a real reason, and not like he's in love with Taya. He's literally probably spying on Taya on the behalf of Ichiro. Because of that, Naito still gives him jobs. I believe it's all a conspiracy to just kind of figure out what the fuck is Taya? Because I don't even believe like Naito knows enough about him. So it's like, and having Chashiro kind of now be a part of this interesting pact with the ISA and the Lightning Corporation, whatever Naito's company is super interesting. And for a while, Chashiro kind of feels like the least interesting out of the pack. He kind of like, alongside with Gemba, he kind of becomes more and more interesting, and I'm actually all for it. Like next week's episode, we actually we get the resolution of, I think, episode 6, or like very early on, I think it was maybe 6, of like the flashback of how Chashiro and Taya met, where Chashiro pretty much snuck into Taya's home next week. And like, it's been a while since I've been really hyped for Boonboomger, but this is like the hypest as I ever going to get to it, because this was kind of like a plot point that, if you really think about it, I thought the show just forgotten. But now they're bringing it back, and they're probably going to tie it up to the ISA, which could lead to several different things, but I truly believe it's somehow related to Boondarios. It needs to be. And pretty much for this race, he brought back like Mad Rex. And bring back Mad Rex, like, some people would believe that, oh, that should be something big, but if you think about it, it's not really the same Mad Rex. It clearly is implied that pretty much the dog is controlling the body, or at least he doesn't have all of the memories. Like literally, Fury Mad Rex didn't know who the fuck Taya was. Like he was like, well, like blank face, has the same voice, but very much not the same character. Are they going to the point of he's going to get his memories back? Is he not? It's going to be kind of interesting moving forward with this new Fury Mad Rex. But yeah, like, I really like this episode. I really like the fight scenes. I like what they did with Joe. I think this race is an interesting character. I hope truly that he's not going to fall to the Cannonborg type of character and just kind of like revive people and just give the keys new power boost, and he would actually come out and fight more, because I just wish that Cannonborg would have fought more. But yeah, like, this episode was great. Again, gave more highlights on Joe and the rest of the cast, brought back a villain in an interesting way, and kind of like didn't put the spotlight all the way to Gemba, because Gemba kind of as a character needs to have these little droplets of just being in the show now after this big reveal, because you can't just, you know, rush it, specifically with him training to fight this race, where it clearly is implied that this race is a very strong opponent. So yeah, this episode gets a B+. What you thought about Boonboomger episode 28? Comment below, let me know. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please press that like button. If you haven't helped already, your subscribe button to achieve his gacha of becoming a subscribed button, please do. So yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget, you're the only one that can prevent forest fires, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.